All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Brunch Conversations.
Woo!
You can't believe that we are done with Revelation. What?
Huh?
What? And I am so excited to be doing this. I am so excited to be doing things. Kama kawaida, I first want to introduce Mbogi yangu, Le Crew Mbogi Genje. And in studio, I am joined by Sharon Mueni, aka Sha_Mueni. And of course, she's the one in red. Duh. Now, pande ile ingine ya studio.
Hiyo ni red.
Niko na watu wa power, watu wa nguvu. Put your hands together and show some love to the amazing Gashaos. Woo! Yani hawa tunawafanyiaga hivi hawa, yes, hawa ni hivi. Mtu apige Pastor Mike picha, hivi. Alafu waiframe. Alafu tutakweka kwa mural kama Obama,
Wacha basi ni pause.
Bas.
Ile signboard hapo Life Spring.
Kwa signboard ya Life Spring Chapel Churches.
Mimi mkiniambia
Sharon anapiga picha.
Mkinishow mnanipiga picha signboard. Mtanipata niko hivi.
Tutajipata kwa huko hivyo kwa barabara.
Nishapiga. Ondoa simu Sharon. Haya Sharon. 1 1 2 3 let's go.
Pia ikae serious. Watu hawatakam.
What wanakuja? Who do you want in your side? Do you want serious people or not serious people who want to be serious?
No, everybody else can be serious except us.
Yes,
we don't share the limelight of unseriousness.
In my church, I want people who are not serious. Sababu watu serious wagana masiri. As in, all right.
Okay.
Hapo hata Siri can't help. Yani.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Brunch Conversation happening every Thursday, 10 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. And we have a DJ on set, who will be taking us through. Oh, we are missing one person. We are missing Eric Omondi, Jakababa. And he might
Nasikia bridge imefungwa.
Bridge imefungwa manze. We thought
akafikiria kupitia Machakos Town ni mbali. Akifika show itakuwa imeisha.
San Kabombo. Big up to San Kabombo.
We'll be talking about that in a minute. Lakini right now, our DJ, who is also our big kahuna, will be playing us the jingle that we normally, Giuliani should pay us for this. Or who should we pay Giuliani? Whatever, man. But pages, this is why we are here. Brunch Conversation exists to help you unveil or uncover the mystery. Let's go. This book of the love shall not depart after the mouth. Me have remembered it. Remember, they just a link to the zeros, difference ni place decimal point iko. Lesson ujiposition, especially ukiwa una options. Kago kipa warambe start. No, are you sure? Ulitafuta right place. Nini limpata groove. Mzeya, wanapaka Christian Dior, Leo. Wasinuke kahiden, susi waige hao. Amani hade hao. Siku bizi na dara penyeza Bible. Me asking, how the Malika you stand and overcome the arm. Me asking, don't take them, lick a thing be so tough. Put on the full of man, walk on the wall.
Higher till me reach Mount Zion. Wiser, shape me bold like a lion. No matter what I want in the situation, me have to stand up. So me tell them, say Jesus him alone, who was it on the throne. Answer all me pray when they call on the phone. Every time me have to come around, me have to sing. With the buckle in me hand, me say me have to ring. The bell so you know what I want. With the word again, me say me have to take a stand. This book of the law shall not depart from the mouth. We meditate upon it day and night, so me tell them.
Underdog Production.
All right, that was Juliani Alemba, a DJ Sadiq Mix Genius. Yes, and of course, this is the Branch Conversations, and thank you very much, our DJ. By the way, if you feel like we need to change our jingle, let us know. But you need to have to pour a lot of money. All right? Lazima to convince sana. Na utusuggest unataka tucheze nini? All right? Yeah, Pastor Nzisa, not you, because Pastor Nzisa will suggest we play a reggae song.
No, I will have another Giuliani song.
We'll have another.
There is a place far, far away. It's called Addis Ababa. I mean, sisi ni watu wa AU, Africa Union.
Africa Union. Liberation. Music that talks about freedom. Anyway, we'll be talking about a little bit about where we are going with this all freedom manenos. It's because we realize that we've been made for something, more than just getting married and dying, or getting employed and dying, or the city being opened and going to up country. Watu wamekuwa kirudi ushago. Where you are, what have you been seeing?
Maybe viewers should tell us where they're checking in from, because kuna watu pengine GPS yao imechange. Alikuwa hapa Nairobi, anasikia amefungiwa, kidogo gate imefunguliwa.
Unajua jana nilikuwa soja wetu wa ploti hakuwa, somebody else was. Nikamuuliza kwa nini, aliniambia nimshikie, ameenda ushago kuona jamii.
Alafu kuna wale walikuwa nje wanajaribu kurudi, yani wanafikiria tena narudi Nairobi lini. Tunawajua. Karibuni sana. Lakini on a serious note, challenge ni ile design, unatoka mahali ni hotspot, alafu unaenda mahali kuna vulnerabilities mob. Hiyo ndio kitu maybe that is on my heart right now. I'm just thinking, yes, tulifunguliwa gate, lakini Prezo ulisikia akiongea kuhusu mambo ya social responsibility. Najua social responsibility ni software. Kufunga gate ni hardware. Sasa zingine unafungia wasee, unawafungia tu because software iko tu missing. Nilikuwa naambiwa kuna wasee yani wamesikia hiyo speech washatupata mask. Wasee tuwajibike. Yes. Yeah. Let's be responsible. Hakuna polisi anaweza leta responsibility. Najua walijaribu na mask wakaanza kupiga wasee. In fact, it's really unfortunate that people got hurt. Enforcing, people have died because of enforcing some of these things. You cannot police behavior. You cannot do that. So ni wewe na mimi kuwajibika. I mean, jana nilicheki kuna something ita drop soon eh. Na hii family wanajitaje waga sijui nini.
Waga
sanitizanga. Wase. Yeah, I'm waiting for that song eh. From your group. I'll remember the name. Maybe Sharon anawajua au maboys kina Chengo na wengine, you know.
Waambie
Wagi family.
Wagi family, yes. Hiyo nilicheki hizo maboshori. Kwanza ni poa. I like. Hiyo inaweza tosha hizi dread zanzi sana. Urban wear. Nice. But I think what I needed to tell guys is tuwajibike. Yeah, don't be in a rush kwenda ushago. Unajua mimi kama mimi nimetoka Mount Kenya region Najua Mount Kenya region kuna challenges kubwa sana. Yaani nimezoea kusikia tu watu wakisema wako na hypertension, wako na some of these lifestyle diseases that they are so rampant huko, and these are the people who are at risk. Wazae unawapenda. Hakuna vile design utaenda ushago shosha haja kuona muda mrefu asikuhug. Yeah? Atataka kukuhug. Yes. Yes mleche. Inachosha lakini tuwajibike tu. Tujaribu kuprotect wengine. Unajua wewe hujui kama uko nayo ama mwingine kama uko nayo. Sometimes before symptoms even show, it is already too late. Yeah, niliona msee amesema nikikuona wewe ulienda kuvichosho yangu. Corona, nitakushtaki manslaughter, attempted murder.
Yes, because our Zae ndio wako vulnerable. I had the youth asking me, so mbona wamesema church imefunguliwa ya wasi wa 13 years na 58 hapo hivyo. So kwani hao wengine mbona hawataki kufollow, so watadu nini? So hawatasikia all that conversation. And maybe you can paint a picture why, Pastor Nzisa, why do you think watoina the elderly wanafungiwa nje? Because my youth wanauliza.
I think near level 2 ya vulnerability. Ask anyone. Children are vulnerable. We want to protect our children. And that is why, the CS for Education say that according to their survey, 90% of parents are hesitant to take their children back to school. So I think your age, alafu kicheki puberty, it's a season of a lot of growth. So also I think your immunity can be a bit compromised. So I think that is why below 13 wako home. Over 58, I think just the way our bodies, we are fallible human beings. The way our bodies are, they deteriorate with time. At 58, you can look healthy. Maybe you don't think something is wrong with you. Even at 45, I could be thinking that I'm okay, and I don't know if something is wrong with me. Na say your infection itakushika, ndio utajua kumbe there was an underlying issue all along. So the thing is to, and then also their research is showing that age is not doing very well. Wakipata infections, the rate of recovery maybe is not good. So there's research that has informed the things that the decisions they have made. It feels bad to separate the young from the old, because I see there's a lot. I mean, I even saw a video by some Israeli minister saying that the biggest way to stop the disease is to separate the young people from the old people. So I was just having a discussion with my mom, and I'm saying, especially for me, mtu faith passes from old people to young people. You need that interaction. People need, my daughters need to know how was my mom as a young person, how did she live her salvation. That transaction between the old and the young is so crucial for our society. So how are we going to do it? So we have to be creative about it and protect them, because we want our grandparents and our parents to be with us for a long time. We want them to be here with us, and therefore we have a responsibility towards them to protect them?
Yeah, I think the key word there, Dante, is responsibility. Yeah. When you think about minors, the people who are older are responsible. Yeah. So there's a very heavy responsibility still vested on the parents. Ndio utaona hata tukisema kesho tufungue itachukua time. I know I was even thinking hata September ikifunguka I will wait. I'll wait. Mimi sitakuwa na haraka, you know, because kupeleka watoto shule or something like that, because mimi niko na responsibility mimi kama mzazi over my children. I have seen how hard it is even just to teach them social distancing, sanitizing, safety, you know. Sasa mimi ndo nakuwa safety yao. Mimi sasa ndo nawalinda. Kwa sababu ukiwaachilia, I mean we did an experiment with our kids. Hata ukienda naye kwa soko, yeye anataka kuhug kila mtu, anataka kugotea kila mtu. Akumbuki mambo ya mask. Kwanza akikuja na mask yake poa, anataka kuonyesha mwenzake, hebu cheki mask yangu. Na wana exchange ma mask, you know, it's hard.
Mimi Nazari anatoa yake anaiba hapa hivi kwa mkono. Alafu anaenda kucheza.
Labda ni mwenye kama maki akifanya. We never know. But we are not here to attack people.
Yes. No, we are not attacking people.
But the thing is true. Watu wajibike. You know, yes. Somebody said, and before I say what somebody said, maybe you're joining us for the first time. Rosie Muleche, thank you very much, you know, for tuning in, the first person. But if you're joining in, this is the Branch Conversations. And, you know, the best thing to do during the day is after having breakfast and you're waiting for lunch, piga story na watu. Jua taifa inaendeleaje. Tunahama lini. You know, all those things. And that is what we do. And that is what we do in this show.
Yes.
Now, hapa ni ma story too about life. And of course, we want to base it on, you know, what is God saying about all this? Because we are believers first. We are believers. But mwanzo kabisa, tuko kwa hii dunia na tuko katika safari. We are clear about that. So we are going to talk about all this, lakini tusikie pia God anasemaje kwa hizi stories. And that is why we say the mystery is about to get uncovered. Now, today is a special day because we are just out of Revelation. But si kabisa, because we realized most of you have questions that you would like to, you know, to look at and to ask. For example, why do we even have to do Revelation in the first place? Number two, all those questions that you have, we want to invite you to just ask them here. Na tukipiga story tutakuwa tunaona comments zako zikikuja, and we are willing to address those comments as they come. So please ask Revelation related questions. What we've been doing, going through. Maybe you had something and tulipita mbio sana. This is the day. We have 45 minutes of just that. So go ahead and ask that question. Don't wait, because when this chapter closes, we open a new one, and we might not be able to come back here. And we'll be telling you about the chapter we are closing. Unajua si hatusemi tu an invitation. No, we actually opening a new chapter.
Sini kudara tu pages. You know, lazima
tukisonga.
Yeah.
All right. Pastor Maish, before I get to you, all right, you want to say something? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just connecting Revelation with the context of what is going on and stuff like that. Just to realize, you know, when God speaks to us through his word, he's speaking into the present, you know, and the situation that we are in. So to saw's level tulikuwa tumeongea kuhusu what really matters, you know, what really matters sio ati gate imefunguliwa ya Nairobi ya Metropolitan or sijui nini, or it matters of life and death are found in God's word, and we have addressed that and we will continue to address that. So just maybe putting us in context. Ukiamba uvae mask, Rosie, you know, usichoke. Ifo tu ndio tuna build hata habits of our faith, because kuna vitu huwa zinachosha. Kama kudaradara pages za Bible sengine inaweza tosha. You know, I was just going through Chronicles, First Chronicles. Inachosha your book, you know. But we have to keep at it, yeah. Because it is good for us. It's good for our health. Yeah.
All right. Yes. So I wanted to ask Sharon, kwa ground, watu wanasemaje? Najua ni mtu wa memes. So after we share, I want to to look at a few things here and there. But kwa ground, my youth wanasemaje?
Wanasikia vizuri because wamepewa chance ya kuchange location. I mean, walikuwa nangoja kufunguliwa wa change location ndio waendelee.
Wale walikuwa wameolewa by mistake, labda lockdown ilikupata kwa boyfriend. You realize I am not made for this, I am made for more, so you are going back.
Historia nitumie fare imerudi.
Si utume fare.
Kuna pia watu wamejam tu. Kuna watu hawapendi kumit wengine. So time kulikuwa na lockdown ilikuwa sungoje basi corona iishe. Sasa kumefunguliwa tu si corona imeisha. Sasa of course kuna relationships mingi sana zita break. Young relationships.
Corona haijaisha.
Ni lockdown tu.
Kwanza in fact especially saa hizi ndio tuwe rada zaidi.
But unasikia Sharon anasema vile situation iko. Uko kwa ground corona imeisha. Kulingana na my youth corona imeisha.
Corona imeisha.
All right.
Alafu pia
all right. Let us just okay, malizia.
Watu wa kukula fare wanabambika.
Juu
wataitisha alafu wakule alafu waseme corona iko bado.
Hiyo story ya fare hiyo tutaiongelea siku moja. Hiyo inafaa iwe subject tu ya siku yake.
Hiyo story ni story key. Yes. Sababu mimi naona watu wanafaa kupewa fare, but haina normal. Let's talk about it some other time. All right. What do you think about this?
Nimecheka sana.
Ati Jaden.
On my way to Nairobi. Thank you, Jaden. Sasa curfew ndo imebaki.
Alikuwa ameomba na place ya kulala.
Alikuwa ameomba place ya kulala kwa Jaden. Anarudisha mkono.
Maze kama unatoka Busia. Sijui unatoka saa ngapi ndio ubit curfew kabla ufike Nairobi. Maze
Ana anatoka Busia. Anatoka
BGM.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah. So huyu ni kama alitoka tu vile alikuwa.
Kwa sababu hiyo masaa.
Na unajua rapsa itakuwa hivyo tu. Wewe mali unasikia tarumbeta, wewe toka tuende sababu
nayo.
Tarumbeta ndio hiyo. Na hii tarumbeta itakuwa ya Magic Enga ama ya beat ya Clemo hii tarumbeta hatujaisikia, so ni kukarada.
Si kama ya Nathaniel Basi.
Si kama ya Nathaniel Basi
Nathaniel iko rada.
Yake ukisikia hata sasa hivi.
But hapa ndio my youth wako, and we need to talk about na si my youth peke yake. I think this is where people are. You know, pastors right now, after hearing that churches are now allowed to hold their services. Wewe wachungaji tupelekeni na rada.
Wako.
Lakini nimecheki wachungaji wengi wako hiyo bracket yani nio vulnerable So there are a lot of them who are really affected by this. Wana feel kama wametenganishwa na the thing that defines their purpose, what they do. So yeah, my heart really goes out to them. Wakati huu kumefunguliwa, lakini na sio age peke yake guys. We need to realize that vulnerabilities pia ni za health. I know people who are not in that age bracket, but afya yao haiwaruhusu. You know, people who have chest challenges, you know, people who have, in fact, my heart goes out to Ete. We are praying for Ete. You know, he's going through a difficult challenge right now. In fact, men are raising support to take him to Hosi. I pray for breakthrough in that space. But the people like that around us, some are even children, you know, who are asthmatic, they have bronchitis challenges, chest problems. They have people who have sicklers, warriors, you know, people who are recovering from cancer treatment and stuff like that. Watu ni wengi ambao wako vulnerable. So tusichukulie tu kama jokes, you know, yeah.
All right. But the biggest problem is this problem, and this is why. So Kenyans are speaking. Kenyans, I feel like the president might have acted out of pressure sometimes, and especially during this time. Watu wameitisha Moses, watu waliambia Moses hapana, and people watu ni hard to understand. Yes. But I am sure after, because there's a new wave we are not ready for. When people come from up country, or when people now go to up country.
Yes.
Now there is that wave that is coming that we are not ready for, and I don't think tumepiga hiyo hesabu vizuri. But help me understand here. Trying to understand how Nairobi was closed at 7 cases.
Yeah. Nairobi was?
Yeah.
Oh, how Nairobi was closed at 7 cases.
And we opened at 7,000 cases. I am not sure about that figure, but
but guys, we need to understand like what has been going on.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Nairobi was closed. It was closed for various reasons. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Nairobi was like an entry point because we disease in Kamel toka nje kaingia through an international gateway. Okay. So there was wisdom to stop the hotspots quickly. There is spread haraka, but people need to understand that the way the virus spreads, it might be inevitable that it will spread, but you want to buy time. Okay, you want to buy time for preparedness. Ni kama uko na crisis mahali unaishikilia ukisort maneno. So what I'm hoping is that as a country we were sorting things out. I mean, you notice between the last extension and this one, the 30 days, I noticed the minister going around the counties. What I suspect he was doing is checking preparedness, because it is inevitable that it will go into the counties, but the lockdown of Nairobi, I believe, slowed it down so that you can prepare. Okay. What I hope is that we're actually preparing. Hatukuwa tunafanya jokes. Yeah. Ndio sasa cases zikikuja tuko rada. We can learn from Nairobi. We learn that yes, unaweza kwa ushago unasema hakuna corona, but vaeni mask. Vaeni mask. Hand wash, sanitize, yeah, so it is really important that even there people recognize that no contact, keep the physical distance of 1.5 to 2 meters, the recommendations, because this virus imesemekana in a pass through contact. Okay. So if you want to stop something that is passing through contact, what do? Stop contact. You stop or minimize that contact, and it's not easy, but yes, we need to do that. Rosie, tuweke rada mapasi wale wako above 58 years. Story ni kuwajibika tu, I think statistics zinasema especially the male above a certain age, you are most at risk. Okay, most at risk. You can insist. It's really up to you. President alisema he can say, but it's really up to you. Ukitaka kufanya wewe fanya, but ujue sasa risk ni kwako. Unajiexpose kwa risk. Okay, so we can insist, we can say it doesn't matter. I know some people are saying corona is not real. Me, I don't want to find out if it is real or not. Okay, I just want to ensure that I protect those that I love around me.
And Percy, you might be losing your job. I am not sure how to handle this on air right now, but somebody is about to send their application letter.
By the way, I would love to go on leave. Please, kuja uchukue simu yangu. Sharon nilikwambia ukupigie simu uchukue, but you carry with the responsibility.
Usimpigie simu.
Usinipigie. Simu zikipigia deal nazo tu. But Rosie, kaa ukijua aging is mandatory.
Hata wewe inakaa
mtoto akizaliwa tu hivi anaanza ku age.
Anaanza kuzeeka.
Yes.
All right. But are you really 58? You don't have to answer that. We can talk about it some other time. Now, mambo imekuwa ikifanyika huku nje. But pia kuna mambo imekuwa ikifanyika huku ndani. Oh, by the way, when I was coming to the studio, I found a young man at the gate, and the askari was stopping him and telling him, "Always ingia huku bila mask," you know. So if and that's a good thing. The young man alikuwa amejam, naenda na narudi tena bila mask na nitaingia. So kasimama hapo nikamwambia sawa, niko rada yako. I got you. I got you. And I think hiyo ndio kuwajibika, where if you're getting entry to a place and they don't ask you to wash your hands, they don't ask you to pull up your mask if your mask is sagging, they don't ask you to they don't even check your temperatures. We know not everybody is able to do that. There are facilities that they still don't have the temperature guns yet, but if they have and they skip that, they are exposing you to danger. They are killing you, and you can report them. So let's be extra careful. This is not the time to drop masks. This is not the time to stop washing hands. This is the time to be extra vigilant and be careful, because Corona is here. What has happened is just, the doors have been opened for more, I don't know what. So we need to be extra careful. But when Corona hit, most of us were scattered. I remember the congregation I lead, everybody went. Watu walikuwa wananiuliza
fear levels zilikuwa hapa. Fear levels.
Fear levels zilikuwa hapa. Unajua
Corona ilikuwa 1 case, fear level ilikuwa hapa.
Yes.
Sasa Corona iko hapa, fear level inashuka.
Fear level is yes, I balance. That is like finding X. All right. So and there's a question I had. The good thing with personalities like mine, we have our minds keep processing things even as we go. So the question I want to ask people right now is, if a thief or if a robber came to you and held a gun to your head, the first thing that goes in mind is maybe it's a toy gun, maybe it's a real gun, and they ask you, give me your wallet or give me your phone. What will you do? Will you refuse to give them because you think it's a toy gun, or will you give them because you're not sure what it is? I think that's how this situation looks like. Corona, is it true or is it not true? We don't know. So what do we need to do? Let's be careful. That we can do. That we can do. All right. So I was saying about how people are scattered. Ukidrop kitu mahali na useme bomb, people start running different directions. So that scattered people. But we've had a summit that was, the intention was to bring people together and refocus. Pastor Nzisa, you have something.
I have a question, and this is something that has been happening on the ground. Maybe not with my youth, but with people like me and those who are older. Just feeling like there's an agenda behind the COVID. Agenda leading to the Antichrist and the mark of the beast. And so I don't know where you are. I think we must be vigilant and not allow and know what the word says. I know that fear is out there, especially with those who are maybe a little bit older than I am, that this is a conspiracy of the beast. So let's engage. Let's continue to pray for the Lord. I'm sure there are agendas. I don't doubt that there are evil agendas behind what the sickness that is there. But then that is not reason to be careless.
And I think adding to what she's saying, she has just reminded me about how do you deal with the counterfeit, because the agenda of the enemy is counterfeit. It's a counterfeit agenda compared to the agenda of God. And to deal with the counterfeit, you don't expend your energy trying to figure out every counterfeit tool or technique or kama ni dose zinaweza kuanga fake ujaribu unaweza kufikiria hizi dose zote ambazo ziko fake zinakaaje. You don't use your energy in that. You expend your energy in knowing what the genuine one looks like. Okay? So in a case like this, whether this is the agenda of the Antichrist or whatever it is, if we have a limited amount of time, I would encourage us, which is what our life is about. Our life is finite. I would encourage you to spend time knowing the truth, the genuine.
Yes. Take your time with Christ.
Yeah.
Because Antichrist, the Antichrist is doing what the Antichrist does, changing his location, wearing masks, presenting deception, because he's changing. But we are told that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that is where our focus should be.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was just about to mention how, you know, when Corona came, it really scattered us, and it's around the same time we started going through the book of Revelation, and we can now look back and you know, take stock and say, wow, this is where we were when we were starting. This is where we are. This is what we've been through, and I would want us to spend the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so to just look at that. And let me first ask Sharon, when Corona hit, are there people around you that what scattering happened? Ni scattering gani happened around you, and what did you sense around that? Was there scattering, or people are just feeling, yo, we are good?
Well, I'll mention the one that really disturbed me. So we have these influential youths that are well known by the young people, and they're celebs, so they always have shows going on online and everything, but mostly like they always have a location and people would show up. So immediately Corona started, they had shows, like they were going live, and the things that were going on there were, of course, sort of scattered. I mean, these guys were confused. They didn't know what they were actually, but I don't know if they really knew what they were doing, but it looked like they didn't know who has sent them. They didn't know what it is that they have to pass, but I feel like they were trying to maintain the relationship that they had with people, and they knew where to find these young people, and that was online. And so there were things like, I don't know, Nyonga Fest, that was Sin City, Sin like Dhambi, that was Sin City, and these guys had more than 15,000 views every single day. I mean, that's a lot of, that's a huge
following.
Not really following. I mean, when you're going live and then you have 15,000 people that are online with you, I mean, participating in whatever you're doing. And funny thing is that we would have maybe girls twerking or just doing stuffs, and there are people who are giving money to that. And just to be clear, there was a lady that went home with over 100,000 for just doing that for 5 minutes.
Wow.
It means that people didn't know what they're supposed to be doing, and so they have to follow the people that they have been keeping in touch with, or just they are more like their role models to see what they're doing. And then these role models didn't know that what they have been sent or what they're supposed to be doing, so they figured out whatever they could do was that. And so of course their following has to follow whatever it is that they're offering, and I feel like that really scattered everyone. As much as they kind of changed later on, I feel like that was a very bad thing to start off with. Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for sharing. So the youth was scattered. I mean, there was, and I also saw that, and that was so sad because
you saw the show.
Yes. No.
Oh, okay.
The posters and what was happening online. I also heard about it. So. Yeah, but that is the scattering that was happening then. Then we would like to go to now shifting from that scattering, because when people are scattered, we need, and Pasia will need your help here. People are Pastor Maish, when people are scattered and you need to communicate, you need to tell them, hey, it's not a bomb. It's, we need to come back. How do you communicate that, and how do you do that? I know that you set up. There was a summit happening last weekend, and the other one, and I will give you an opportunity to talk about it. And if you can see our our screen. Pale Juu, we have a Friday night, 26th June, 7 p.m. People are getting inspired on that night. Saturday, the 27th June, asubuhi, people are getting empowered. And then on Saturday, that was, I think, last weekend, again, asubuhi, people are getting commissioned. I think this was a transition from now that scattering into something more important. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that. But let me read something from Rose Muleche Salwa. I have loved the conversation here, especially on Revelation, because you guys have addressed fears that the body of Christ across has had, especially thinking it's end of the world and so many myths that came with it. Blessings, guys. Thank you very much, Rosie Muleche. That is one of the scattering that happened, because when Corona hit, people thought it's the end of the world. And that is what motivated us, I think, to now go and start looking at, is it really the end? And the mystery, we believe it's still being uncovered. But Percy, back to you. Let's hear what you think about all these things we're talking about here. And
one of the things that I remember we did early on, and I'm really grateful that God speaks when we are listening. If we are listening, so we started off this year with a word drawn from Genesis chapter 1 from verse 26. Where it talks about God creating us in His image. And in His image and likeness, He created them male and female, meru and female. It is you and I, that were created in the image of God. And I was talking with my wife about, just that creation story and what was happening in that creation story and how God formed, Adam and Eve, and then breathed His spirit into this body, and the implication of that. But then He also gives us a picture of passing the baton. If you haven't watched the ELS content, it is still available on YouTube and Facebook. Please go and check it out on the Lifespring Chapel pages. Awesome teaching, awesome inspiration, awesome time together as leaders, and people came out there energized for the mission. But one of the things that the speaker talked about was we are in a season of passing the baton. It is not by accident that we are having to think about the generation now that is allowed into church is the young generation. Yeah, they're the ones who are allowed to come into church, and you'd better be prepared to pass on the baton. Rosie, I'm ready to pass on the baton to you. 58 haiko mbali sana na mimi. Na siwezi mind raising the next generation. Okay? Sharon, Pastor Rosie has been in training for quite a while. You remember Pastor Gideon talked about training and being prepared. But in Genesis, there was a sense of passing the baton. Yeah, that I give you this. God gave Adam and Eve the creation and said, multiply and fill the earth, have dominion over it. There was a passing on of the baton. So we received that word. We did not know what it meant. In fact, when Corona hit 3 months later, and God had said, this is your year of multiplication, multiply and fill the earth. We're just thinking, we are already halfway through the year and we've been in Corona. What does this mean? I believe that it is a powerful word for the season. I believe there will still be multiplication in the church. I believe there will still be multiplication in people's lives. I believe that many more are going to recognize their purpose in life and live it out in this season. But you receive that word and then you get into a place where you feel like you're scattered. You can no longer meet as you used to meet. You can no longer do mission as you used to know how to do mission. And we got confused. Let me just say we got confused. Many churches got confused. A lot of people, a lot of Christians were waiting. When there's a scare of a bomb, kuna wale wanakimbia na kuna wale wana duck,
That's the way Kenyans are.
So we were different personalities and we reacted differently to what happened. And there are those who were waiting for this thing to blow over. Then they go back to how they used to do life, before. I think when it hits 100 days, you realize, I had better be getting engaged in something, because this is the new norm. I mean, who would have thought that the school calendar would just be put on pause, so to speak, but that's where we are. And my heart goes out to those who are candidates, who are looking for transition this year, and perhaps feeling, we have teachers, people in the education space, and perhaps feeling like kuna watu, kina Grace, Form 1, mambo utarudia Form 1, next year. And it can make you become depressed, okay? And I am so sad to hear, some people have committed suicide because of that. It's really, really sad. But that's the reality of the space that we are in when this happens. But then, guys, we will rise again. We will rise again stronger. We will rise again, with the help of God to accomplish his purposes. Because God akisema, aliambia Isaac, usiende huko Egypt, nitakubless pale huko. Kuna ukame, there is drought, and people are leaving this land because it is dry and parched. But God told him, stay here, I will bless you right where you are. And maybe that's what somebody needs to hear. Pale tu ulipo, God atakubless. Kama alikuwa amepronounce something about your life in 2020, God is not a liar. Okay? If he determined, he will come through, because he's a covenanting God. He sticks to his covenant. So as a community, we have been talking about training leaders and equipping leaders for the mission. Somewhere along the way, we usually do this summit in November, towards the end of the year. But we just felt an impression on our hearts as leaders to do this sooner, because leaders are ready to go. Leaders are ready to go. How do we inspire, equip, and commission them? Hence the Emerge Leaders Summit that we went through. Dante, I'll ask you to just put up the slides, if you don't mind. Just put up the slides. And yes, that's what it was about. And our theme was sent, not scattered. You may have felt scattered as a Christian. You may have felt now church imesambaratika. But you know what? That is not the case, because we are sent. And some of the things that we had a special speaker, a guest speaker from Lagos, Pastor Gideon Mba. He really blessed us with the message. And the message was so divinely inspired. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, and you can check out what it is that he shared about on the first day when he spoke to us about Sent. He's an author. He's written a book, Gideon Mba, Gideon MBA, GideonMba.com. There's a book, you can go and get it and just get more details about what he was speaking about. But he spoke about, being sent, okay, being sent, and that, being sent has to do with identity. It begins with identity. God calls you, and he was speaking from the book of Exodus, chapter 3, and the calling of Moses, and how a man who was lost in identity, whose life had been disrupted, was drawn in by a miracle, and that a bush was burning, and just getting a sense of who his source was. And God, in a sense, telling him, forget the former things, forget, Isaiah 43:18, forget your past, how you were trained in Pharaoh's palace, forget how your heritage, having been raised and perhaps given out as a child, being raised away from your people, forget being rejected by your people, forget going through the wilderness and being a fugitive. I am going to use you to be the deliverance of God's people, and he calls him into that, and he calls him by name. I don't know what they were calling him in Midian at that time. Maybe in Egypt they were calling him a murderer. Maybe his people, the Israelites, were calling him something else, and not something very endearing and welcoming. He had an original name. He was given another name by there was a name, his Egyptian name, Sayuko Media, and he's a shepherd. Yeah, say any shepherd.
Working for your father-in-law.
Yeah, working for your father-in-law. I mean, Sijui Dante, what this might mean to you, kwenda kufanya unapoa job na Adoni. Watu watakusemaje watu wenu?
Aibu.
Yes, aibu. You know, alafu unafuga kondoo because that's the only work you have. Yet you had been trained. You know, pharaohs were trained at the best, you know, philosophies, the best techniques, leadership, because they were being prepared for leading a nation, you know, and at the time, yes, leading the world. So that's who Moses was. And just seeing how God calls him by name, and then he puts him on a path. And he's a normal guy because of his story. He's just feeling, no, me, I'm not an orator. Oh no, I don't have this, I don't have that. I think at some point even God alianza kama alikomeanza kujam na yeye, you know, in that conversation in chapter 3. But we know the story that he goes on, okay? But he knew when he goes to that space, you know, he's being sent to his ghosts, his skeletons, anatumwa hiyo place. God is not even sending him to a new place. He's sending him back to those people. Alafu hao watu wanamjua vile wanamjua, watamuuliza wewe ni nani? Unakuja hapa kama nani, you know? So it's important for you who is sent to know who sent you, you know? And we learned about, you know, just recognizing the identity of the one who has sent you. It's important that you know who you are sent to. You know, he was sent to Pharaoh, but also he was sent to the elders of Israel, you know, because his purpose was to deliver the people of Israel from the captors, you know, and that's Pharaoh. So there's a commission on you guys, as teachers, as Christians, that you have been given a commission, a general commission to go and make disciples. But there's a specific commission that you are specifically called into. So who is that? And we learned about that, you know. We learned about what you're sent with. What is that in your hands? What have you been sent with? You know, what is your gift? What is your passion? What is your story? And we will be learning more in the next few weeks about this. You know, you're sent with authority and with power. Authority is the right to do. Power is the ability to do. You know, and the power is the power of the Holy Spirit. You know, what are you sent with? But then, why are you sent? Jesus said that you are sent in love. Matthew 22, when he's talking about the great commandments, you know, love the Lord your God. So you're being enjoined to join. You're being enjoined in the privileged work of redemption that God is doing. God is love, you know, and you're called into. When you're going because you have a love for God, you know, but also you're going because you understand the heart of God for his people. So loving others, loving yourself, you know. And in the next few weeks, Dante, I think we'll be going through the book of Ephesians, and we're inviting you to join us on Sundays and on the branch conversations to just go through the book of Ephesians, you know, chapter 1 to chapter 6, and there are shifts that we will be making. You know, shifts like next week, the shift will be from more effort to more Jesus, you know. So be there. Let us engage with the subject of being sent, because that's a new series. You know, we know that we are sent, not scattered. So those who are sent, what does it mean? And lastly, and this one I'll ask Sharon to speak to give us what this acronym stands for. You know, because I know she has used it. SENT is an acronym. I think you remember that, Dante. I don't know if you remember the acronym, but Sharon anaweza kutukumbusha. Yeah. If you're sent, what does it mean, Sharon?
Supernaturally empowered now to.
Yes, and you fill in the blanks. So I am supernaturally empowered now to do something. You know, Ephesians 2, that one that talks about the work that God has preordained for you to do. Wow. You know, I'm really excited about being sent. You know, I'm really, really excited about being sent, Dante. Can't believe our time is going so fast.
Imagine. It's and I know we have 5 minutes or so, but I just would like to highlight something. One of the things I noticed is that there was a visible transitioning from and these are some of the testimonies I picked from and if you think Isn't a story. You can go to YouTube and get the whole summit for the 3 days. It's there, and then especially on 4th, we had people sharing some of the things that they feel sent to, and some of the projects they are planning to start or they have started already. And when Corona hit, yes, the youth felt scattered and guys went different ways. But when we started talking about sent, I saw them now come together, listen to the master, who, and of course on 4th, commissioned them to different things. Some of them are saying, I have been sent to, the marketplace. I have been sent to, there's a lady, her name is, I will mention her name because her testimony is there. Her name is Kara. Kara says she feels now her latest the latest project that she's doing right now is preparing food, snacks, samosas, nini, popcorns, and selling to people out there. And she says that she feels sent to do that because when she does that, she gets an opportunity to also interact and pray with her client and even introduce Christ to her client. So it's not, what will I call it? It's not rocket science. It's as simple as listen to God and where He's sending you, and it doesn't have to be at the pulpit in church. Inaweza kuwa ni pulpit kwa streets, and you can go there and become what God is sending you or is asking you to do in there. So I've had so many of those testimonies. There's a guy with his friend, they host a talk show, a sports show, and they talk soccer. And when they are doing that, they have asked whether there are people who are needed food and things like those, and they get to pray with them or they get to direct them where they can get help. And they also get to pray with them that are struggling with betting and all those things. And that is ministry right there. That is a pulpit right there. So we have all these boundaries that we need to occupy, but then we need to be sent of the Lord. So when you go there and you're not sent of the Lord, inakuwa tu ni show. Pastor Maish.
Nani amekutuma? I think maybe we can also talk about one of the guys. Something happened on the last day at the commissioning. And we had a message about John. If you remember that. Maybe Zisa can say something about that. About that subject of becoming maverick. Remember, as a marketplace missionary.
So this is becoming maverick is the latest storm to come in. This is a book written by a friend of ours, John Thiongo. John Thiongo is writing a book about becoming maverick. John is a man who loves the Lord. Him and Rachel have a wonderful family. They've been in the business world for a long time, and they're strong in the faith. And so this becoming maverick is his testimony of how the Lord has walked with him in the journey of being a market leader and being a believer in that space. And so when Pastor Gideon was speaking and he was talking about the grace that comes with the name with a name, and he talked about the book about John the Baptist and how John was named differently from his father because his assignment was different, and therefore that's why he was given the name John. And the preacher didn't know that the person he's coming to commission is called John, and so it's been a blessing for John to be commissioned to continue doing that which he has been doing, that which he has felt the Lord calling him to do, which is to be a maverick in the business world, to be salt and light in that space. And therefore, like Dano is saying, the one who is selling samosa, the one who is talking about soccer, the one who is in business from the small business to the size of what like Maverick is. There's actually a restaurant called Maverick's Restaurant, and that in that whole space, the Lord is walking with people, and people are operating in their mantle. You know, me, I'm not a businessman, so that's not my mantle. John and Rachel Thiomo have that mantle of being believers in the marketplace, and they're using their mantle to be salt and light in that world, and we celebrate them.
And you know, people have asked me about Akina John and asked, how do these guys do what they do? You know, right now,
I think it's a grace.
Right now, if they ask me, I'll tell them, go and read the book. You know, because there's a lot here that he has shared about his own journey. You know, there are so many. There are like 13 chapters with different elements, like, you know, high desire, appetite, willingness to take risks, staying power, embracing change, avoiding the crowd. Wow. You know, I know it's a book you want to read. I have my autographed copy right here, and you can get yours. I think there's a number there that you can contact John if you'd like to get a copy of the book. 0725708800. Okay, 0725708800. Dante, another way people can be in mission is sort of like something we started off. I know our time is really gone, but I'd like us to talk about, I don't know if I have the slide. You know this, Dante?
Oh yeah, this is the Care Pack project. So yeah, another way people can be in mission is by helping or ensuring or supporting the needy. You know, get by. I mean, get food, and you can do that, of course, by giving towards this project. And you can, as you can see, Hapo Chini, you can respond to through pay bill number by giving through pay bill number to 805-100 and designate Care Pack. And what that does is that it goes to helping us, you know, get stock and get food for these needy families and people and youth, whoever is in need around our community. But the dream is bigger than you see, all right? You might just see a picture and think, or a poster and see, oh, all right, you're also raising, you know, funds for food for the people who are in need. Pastor Maish, I will mention the figures here so that people know the size of this dream.
Well, if you can see there, it may be a little small, but so far we have raised over 229, just shy of 230,000 shillings. And that is to put together the care packs. We have distributed 194 packs as of yesterday. And what that translates to is, and some families have been coming more than once, we have given a total of 158 families food packs, for an average family, enough to take care of them for at least a week or so. And that translates to 589 individuals impacted through your generosity, through your giving. You know, what I know from the people who are organizing this is that the care pack has actually run out, and we want to continue raising more. So we're inviting you, you who's watching, send a gift, 805-100 M-Pesa, Lipa na M-Pesa pay bill, and just write care, okay? Write care, and it will go to ensuring a family has a meal tonight, okay? So thank you for your generosity in that space. We want to raise up to 500 care packs that the pantry, the food pantry, will always have food no matter what. That's our dream, to always have food. But then we also see it as an opportunity for a relationship, you know, a relationship with people, someone who is hungry. We want to be involved beyond relief. We want to get to know them and, you know, equip some of these people in ways to generate income and revenue. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pasi. Yes, please, let's do that. When you think Corona is over, there are people who are still suffering because they've still lost they still don't have their jobs, or they've not been able to get back on their feet, and especially with their businesses. So continue giving. Let's not stop because just the city has been opened, guys. Right. We come to the end of our show, but We want to say a special thanks to everybody who's been watching. Special thanks to everybody who supported this in all different ways. Special thanks to the people that have been praying behind the scenes for Branch Conversations, and our loyal friends, people who've been with us since episode 1. We can't even, I even lost count, and I stopped counting actually. I don't know what episode we are in because I want to keep going. Now, today we're going to do things differently. We are going to say kwaheri and then end with, leave you with a jingle. But next week, we introduce to you a new world.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You want to know what that is? Stay tuned, because we always have some good news. And we will be back next week. Bigger, better, brighter, anything be. Let's be.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, from us we say
Underdog Production. This Bukadilla shall not depart after the mount. Me a premeditate, I love my never remember. They just a link to the honest. Siku busy na dada for yes a Bible. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Siku busy na dada for yes a Bible. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Kila mtu wana zeros, difference ni place decimal point iko. Lesson ujiposition, especially ukiwa una options. Kago kipa warambe start. No, ayuko, are you sure? Ulitafuta right place. Nini limpata through faith. Mzeya, wanapaka Christian Dior, Leo. Wasinuke kahiden, susi waige hao. Amani hade hao. Siku busy na dada fenye za Bible. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Siku busy na dada fenye za Bible. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. How the Malika you stand and overcome the wall. Me asking. How the Malika you stand and overcome the wall. Me asking. Don't take them liquor thing be so bad. Put on the full of and walk on the water. Big things up on the wall are getting so hot and hotter. And the youth like them a live me up to them a scatter. Hotter the church, hotter the wall. The Almighty One of His head, abiding me one blessing me and say. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Higher till me reach Mount Zion. Wiser, shape me bold like a lion. No matter what I want in the situation, me have to stand up. So me tell them, say, Jesus him alone, no a sit on the throne. Answer all me pray when they call on the phone. Every time me have to come around, me have to sing. With the Bible in me hand, me say me have to ring. The bell so you know what I want. With the word again, me say me have to take a stand. This book of the law shall not depart from the mouth. We meditate upon it day and night, so me tell them. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Siku busy na dada fete za Bible. No. Every day me a free the Bible. And in the air if you are true disciple. Underdog Production.